Let us solve the problem number 4 in the part B of DBMS lab. The problem number 4 is as follows. We are supposed to create a table called as student profile that includes roll number, name, class, ECCC. There is also another table called marks report that includes roll number, internal test, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3 and ECCC marks. There are few constraints like the internal test can be either 0 or 1 and each marks can be either 0 to 100, and if the student has not taken the test, that is the absence in the test is entered as -1. We are supposed to consider 3 classes and we are supposed to select a suitable data type as well as the constraint, and we are supposed to insert 5 students record. So I'm going to just copy this thing over here. We are supposed to create the student table. I will go to the notepad over here. I have my blank document here. I'm going to go to the languages and yes, I'm going to select the SQL, and I'm going to create the table. So we have this create table called as student profile, and under this student profile we are supposed to create roll number. So that's the first one, roll number, and I'm going to take this one as a number, and let's take a number. Let me take it as a 5. I don't think so I will be typing 5, and I will take this as a primary key. So I will consider this as the primary key, and next let me take the name. Let me slightly move this. Okay, it's okay, name, and as usual I'm going to take the name as varchar2, and let me take the name as 15. You can type more than that also. Then class is actually a reserved word, but still I'm going to take this class, and I will take this class as maybe BSc, BCA, like that. So let me take this one as varchar2, and let me take 6, first BSc, second BSc, BA, BCom, and so on and so forth. ECCC is the next one, and the ECCC, what they have said over here is for ECCC it can be either sports or NSS or something like that. Maybe I prefer to take I can say, let's say 20 characters. I don't know, because there may be a lengthier one. Okay, that's going to create the table definitely, but they said that you have to put constraints. So what constraints you can put? One of the constraints you can put is not null. Now that's not really required, but you can put this not null. That's one constraint. You can put that constraint for all of them, not null. I'm going to just copy this and paste it over here. So not null, one constraint is put. However, there is an exclusive constraint. This is a constraint that you have already put. Okay, there is one other constraint, and the other constraint that is being put up over here is the ECCC can be either sports or NSS. So this is what they have said. So let's put a check on that thing. So I'm going to say check, and I will say what is that I'm supposed to check. Check ECCC. Okay, let me say in these two things. Let me close this one also. So ECCC is either sports. So let me make I'll make it as capital sports and NSS. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so that is done. Hope everything has been done with that. So that is one table. You can describe this table. Okay, describe this student profile. Okay, once you have done it, and let me insert into this particular table. So I'm going to say insert into the student profile. Okay, and I'm going to say values. Okay, so the values that I'm supposed to insert, let me start with 101, register number, that is the roll number 101. Let me say this one as Ravi. Let me assume that they are in the first BCA. Now the reason why I'm taking first BCA is there is somewhere they have said that this is the first BCA. They have taken it as IBCA, but I will take it as first BCA. That is one. If you want, you can take it as an IBCA. So let me take it as IBCA itself. Okay, so what is there? IBCA. That's the first BCA, and the next one is so I have taken this roll number, that is this roll number, and the name and the class, and finally I have this ECCC. Let me take this one as sports. Okay, done. So that adds one record. In the same way, I'm going to go with the other students. So let me copy this one, Control C and Control V. I need to add 5 records, they said. So I'm going to just press enter and I'll fill them one after the other. I'm going to just add 5 records here, because rather than copy pasting it here. And the first thing I'm going to do is, this is primary key. So you need to be careful with the primary key. So just put the primary key and let me put say Kavi and say what to do, Savi. Okay, Pavi and let's say Navi. Okay, 4 names are done. You can quickly do that thing, and let's start with the second BCA, and let's start with the third BCA, and let's start with the first BCA, and let's start with the say third BCA. Okay, so 2 first BCAs are there, 2 third BCA. That's enough, I suppose. And I'm going to take one of them as NSS. I double clicked on it. So if you just double click on it and Control C to copy it, Control double click here on this one, Control V to paste it, double click here, Control V to paste it. So that's it. I think that's enough for us. So then let's go and let's try to see whether we can create that table. I'm going to just say select star from student profile. I'm going to do that thing, student profile. Okay, done. Let me copy this whole thing, Control C to copy it. I have my Oracle with me. I'm going to just paste it here and let's see whether I get a problem. So my table is created. I can describe my table. Okay, this is my table, and I'm going to insert one record at a time. I'm going to select it, click on run, select it, click on run, select this line, click on run, select this line, click on run, select this line, click on run. So 5 records must be there. I'm going to use the select star from the student table and just run it. So you have the first table being created. Let's go ahead and let's create the second table. I'm going to press a few enter lines over here so that it just comes up. Okay, so that it is there with me, but I just press entered here. Let's create the second table. And what does the second table say? So second table is up to here, ECC marks. So let's say I'm going to just copy paste it to reduce the video length. So I'm going to say create, and I will say table called as marks report. Let me put this one, that includes roll number. That's the first field. Roll number I'm going to take, like the previous case, I'm going to take roll number as the number 5. So this is the same thing I'm going to take, because I'm going to link them together. and we have the internal test. Let me take that. I assume that internal tests are all numeric. Okay, so if you notice over here, they said that there are two values for internal test, either 0 or 1. So I'm going to take it as numeric. So this is one number that you have it over here. So I'm going to take this one as a number, and I'm going to take it as 1 because it is either 1 or 2. Only one digit is required. This indicates only one digit is required. This indicates that you can have 5 digits. So that is the meaning. Let's go to the marks, and what you have marks. If you look at the marks there, the constraint is from 0 to 100. That means 3 digits are there. So this is first digit, second digit, third digit. So this is what I'm going to write over here. So this will be number, and there will be 3 digits for this number, and I'm going to do it for the remaining. So I'm going to just press enter. There is no and here, and let me make it here, and this same thing, number 3 for all the 3 things over here. So this is also number, this is also number, ECCC marks is also number. So that completes the partial table. The reason why I said it is partial table is there are a few things that you must do. Now I'm going to link this roll number, which is there in the marks report, with the student profile. So this, I'm going to link them together. So in other words, I'm going to create a foreign key over here. How to create a foreign key? To create a foreign key, you just have to say over here, you say that it references, and you give the table name. What is the name of the table? That is the student profile. So you say student profile. This is because the name is same, roll number and roll number is same, it automatically links. But I'm going to go with the normal procedure. Normal procedure is inside this bracket, you just say this is roll number. This putting it inside bracket is not really required, because the reason is when you have the same column name, that is roll number here, and the roll number is primary key, the same column number, it automatically links the two columns. That is, it's going to create the foreign key automatically. But I'm going to go with the traditional way of saying that it's going to link them together. So what I've done is this particular column that you see over here, let me slightly bring it up. So this column here, that is the under student profile, roll number, is made as a foreign key for this particular table. So with that, let's go to the next part, and I have this internal test. So what is a constraint? Internal test can be either 1 or 2. So I'm going to put a constraint there, and I'm going to say check. So what is that? Check. So check, you have to put the parenthesis there, and I'm going to say internal. I think I have to write it as internal test. Internal test. What is that internal test? Internal test, I can say in, it's up to you. Okay, you can say between, it is also there. But I'm going to say in 1, 2. You can put it here, or you can also put between. It's up to you. Okay, but I just want to show you that in is also going to work. So let's go with the next one, and that is the check constraint for the next. There is one more check constraint. Okay, check. So what is the check constraint for the marks 1? So the marks 1 can be either 0 to 100, that is one thing, and if the student is absent, that is what they have said, if the student is absent, we are supposed to put -1. So the range is actually from -1 if the student is absent, or from 0 to 100. So this is what they said. So this I'm going to say the, what is this, marks 1. So let me take it as marks 1. So marks 1, See this between also you can use it, between -1, okay, and what is the next one, 100. So why did I took this one as -1? Remember, -1 means if the student is absent, then you can put -1. Otherwise, the marks are from 0 to 100. So that is what I put there. I'm not going to type this whole thing again and again. I'm going to just copy this, Control C, and I'm going to paste it for all the marks. So that is what they said, all the marks. Now, whether ECC also gets 100 marks, I don't know. But they have said it is 100 marks. So I'm going to put the marks as 100. So you have this marks 2 between -1 and 100, marks 3 the check constraint between -1 and 100, and the ECC marks, let me take this one, ECC marks between 1 and 100. Remember, that is also marks. That is what they have said. So they said here marks marks can be between 3 and 100, okay, between 0 and 100, and that is if the student is absent, they are supposed to given -1. So this is the constraint that they have said. Let's go ahead and let me describe this table. So once you create this table, just to describe this table, describe this marks report. Okay, that's it. Okay, let me insert something into this. So I'm going to say insert into marks report. Okay, insert into marks report the values. So you have this values, and what are the values? So remember, when you type the value over here, because it is this part, there is this part is linked, that is it's a foreign key. It must take what is the value which is there in the primary key. It cannot take the values different from the primary key. That, in other words, you can't write 106 over here. The roll number cannot be 106 because 106 does not exist in the student profile. So you must type this number, must be same as the numbers that are typed there. Okay. Then what is the next thing? So this is the roll number, this part is done. Next one is the internal test. So let me take the test number 1. Remember, there are 2 tests that they have set. Either the test can be 1 or the test can be 2. This is what they have said, test 1 and 2. So I take it as test number 1. Let me put the marks. Let me put a distinction marks for this student. So let's say 80, 90, and maybe the next marks is I don't know, maybe 85 and 79. Okay, you know very well this ECCC marks. When if you look at ECCC marks, I think ECCC is out of 50, but I assume that ECCC is out of 100. Okay, so they have not put any condition saying that what must be the ECCC marks. So they have just said that marks must be between 0 to 100. I'm going to do it purposely. I'm going to assume that ECCC marks is out of 100. The reason is I have read all the questions over here. If you notice over here, they said to take the percentage. If I take the percentage, I have to divide it by that much number. So just to avoid that, I'm going to assume that ECCC marks is also out of 100. Let me copy this one and let me paste it. Let me take the same student 101 has taken the test number 2, and let me assume that this person has got 76 in this one. Okay, maybe 79 in the second test. It is not 790, and maybe 60 or maybe 75 in this one, and maybe 89 in ECCC. So let's assume that. Okay, now this is for the student number 1. I've copied it, Control C to copy it, and control V to paste it. This is for the student number 2. This is for the student number 2. Okay, I have done that to student number 2. Let me assume that this student has failed in this test. Okay, so they got 59 in this one, 45 in this one, and maybe 65 in the other one. So I'm just putting some marks there. You can put any marks there. So let me make it as 86, maybe 70, or maybe 69, and maybe I'm going to make it as 77, 79. Maybe I require it maybe for the reason I'm doing it is there is somewhere they have said test for the distinction. That is why I just remember that I have to test for the distinction. So let me go to the next student. Student number 103 has taken the test number 1 and test number 2. What I've done is I've selected it, Control C to copy it and Control V to paste it. So that is much faster. Let me assume that this student has got 82 here, 79 on this one, 75 on this one, maybe 79 on this, but the student has failed in one of the subjects, say 31 in this one. Did I failed any of the student? Okay, so this 86, maybe 69, maybe this is 56, 69, 49. Okay, some marks were there. Let's go to the student number, next student number. So I'm going to go to the student number 4. So this is also 4 here. First test and the second test. Maybe the student has failed. Did I failed in the second test? Let me make it fail in the first test. So this is 42. This is 55. This is 59. And this is 86, let's say. This is 82, and this is 79. Maybe this is 69. Let me put that thing. Let me go to the one more set, Control C and Control V to paste it. So this is roll number 105. Remember this number 101, 102, 103, 104 and 105 must be present here. So you can repeat them in the foreign key, but the number must be there. So let's go with the this one. Let's say 82. Okay, where is this? 82, 66, and I'm going to just make it as 75, 72, again 75, 89, 79. Okay, let it be 69. Okay, so this much has been done. Let me finally put select star from marks underscore report. So this is done. Let me copy this whole thing. I'm going to select this table, the table that I have just created, Control C to copy it. Let me go to the Oracle over here. I'm going to delete all of them, just paste it, and let me run this one at a time. Let's see whether I have an error. So I have the missing parenthesis. I have to just now check where I have missed the parenthesis. Let me come over here. I think I have missed the parenthesis over check constraint. Okay, I think I missed the parenthesis here. Okay, so I put in there. So this is one parenthesis and this is the other parenthesis. Okay, I just missed that one parenthesis. Control C, and let me paste it over here, and let's see whether I am able to get it. So table is created, and then I'm going to describe this table. So this is the table. Remember, once you create the table, please describe the table. That is required, whether you like it or not. During the examination, just describe the table that you have done that table. Then you start inserting it. You don't have to show this one to the external examiner unless they demand it. You just say that because when you run a select star, the examiners will come to know that you have inserted the records. Now if you want, you can just call the examiner once when you want to insert the record, but they generally will not stand behind you or sit near you and watch you inserting the records. So you have to insert the record and then finally call the examiner when the things are ready. Okay, don't unnecessarily disturb them by calling them every now and then. So just run it and you have the select star from the report. So that you have created two tables successfully. You have created it. Let's look at what we are supposed to do next. So we are supposed to run these many queries. Find the number of students who have failed by class wise. So how do I say that a student has failed in a particular class? Now this is the class that I have it over here. And how do I say that student has failed? Okay. So student has failed when the student gets less than 35 marks. So that is what I assume that the student has that is what is the meaning of saying student has failed. So let me first write show the roll number of students who have failed. So how do I say that? Okay, select let me just say roll number. Okay, roll number from this is the table. Remember, marks report has the marks 80, 90, all these marks are there in the marks report. It is there in this table. So I'm going to take that table. Marks report is my table, and I'm going to put the condition. What is the condition? Where? What is the condition? Let me put this condition in brackets. Where? What is the condition? Marks 1. Suppose if the marks 1 happens to be less than 35, then the student has failed. Or marks 2 is less than 35, sorry, the student has failed. Or marks 3. Now I'm going to go over here to the view, and I'm going to go to the word wrap. I have the word wrap ready. Remember, I'm not pressing the enter. It will automatically take me to the next line. So don't get confused, because the word wrap is there. It will take me to the next line. So don't get confused. So this is marks 3 is less than 35. Or you are supposed to write it in the straight line, but because I am recording it and it goes beyond the screen, I have just enabled the word wrap. If you don't allow this word wrap, it will simply go to the straight, it will go there, and but then you will not be able to see the content on the screen. That is why I went and said word wrap it. It's going to get it to the next line. So the last one is you have this ECCC marks. So again, I assumed that ECCC is also out of 100. They have not said anything regarding the ECCC. So you can assume that ECCC is also out of 100. So if I run this one, if I just let me go over here, if I run this particular thing, let me select all of them and let me delete it. And if I run this, all of them, and what is this? It is saying that some argument is missing. Okay, missing right parenthesis. Why on earth that I missed the parenthesis? Okay. Oh, I put a comma over here. So as I talk sometime, this is or. Okay, done. So this is all or. Let me select it and let me run it now. And when I run it, I must get all these students, these all roll numbers have failed. So because I want them together, I'm going to just go here to my workshop here. I've just clicked on this workshop. I've clicked on this object browser here. So workshop, object browser, and you will see all the table. Okay, I need them the table over here for my explanation purpose. So I'm going to open this one in a new tab. Where is this thing gone? Okay, open in a new tab. Is there a option for open in I think this particular thing does not allow me to open it in the same tab. I'm going to just copy this one, Control C. I've just copied this, Control C. Now if you are using Chrome, it actually gives you an option. This particular thing, Edge, is not allowing me to do that. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just paste it, get it over here. Again, I'm going to click on the tab and I will paste it. So why I've done that thing, this is just for my explanation purpose, not for anything else. Okay, I need these two tables for my explanation purpose. So I'm going to just click on this. There are two tables where there. One is this marks report and the other one is this student profile. I'm going to just click on this student profile table and I'm going to click on this marks. Where is this marks report? I put it on two tabs there. The reason is I just want to explain what is there. Okay, otherwise I have to run that query every now and then. I'm going to go to the SQL workshop. I'm going to go to the SQL command and I'm back over here. Okay. Now what I wanted to say is, let me run that query, Control C and Control B. This is just for explanation purpose. You don't need to do all these things. So I run this query. I have this 102, 103 and 104. They have failed. If I go to this object browser, remember I just copied them and I have this table. That table that I am looking at here is this student profile table. So this is the student profile table. If I click on this data, I'm going to see that data. I can always edit this data. Also, I can go here. This is the marks report and I can see the data over here. Now, if you look at here, so this is 102, 103 and 104. If I look at this 102, the student has failed. 103 and 104, if you look at this one, 103, somewhere the student must have failed. Where is 103? Okay, this 103, if you notice, student has failed. 104, one of the 104, the student has failed. Okay, so that is what I get. So what I get with this query, that is the select star from this, is I'm going to get all the roll numbers of the students who have failed. What is the meaning of saying who have failed? Who have got less than 35 marks in any of this subject, either marks 1, marks 2 or ECCC. In any of the subject, if the student has got less than 35, that means that student has failed. So I got one part of it. So what they said is find the students, okay, who have failed. I got the students who have failed. Now the problem with me is I have to find the number. That means I have to count how many students have failed. Okay, so I need to extend this particular query. So how to do that thing? Remember, this query, the one that you are running, is going to give you the students who have failed. So there are a student who have three students have failed over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say this query is I require this one. How do I count it? So they said count the number of student, that is the find the number of student, and I have to show it by class wise. So I need two other things. So I'm going to say select, okay, class. They said you need to get the class as well as I have to count. So count, okay, count of star. Okay, so I need to count them. So this is the two things that we are supposed to do. From where? From where will you count them? Okay, remember you cannot count this class. You cannot get it in the marks report. You can't get it over here. You can get it from this table, because the class is there in this table, which is the name of that table, student profile. So you have to get it if you want to get the class, that is BSc, BCA or anything. This class is there in the student profile, so you need to get it from student profile. What is the condition? So what is the condition? Condition is, remember, this particular table, if you look at this table, that has this roll number. Okay, here also you have this roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3, roll number 4, and so on and so forth. So this roll number I have to match with the student who have failed here. Okay, so in other words, I have the roll number here 102, 103, 104, and I have the class with the roll number. So this class, if you notice over here, okay, I think I'm displaying both of them. I'm displaying the same thing. Am I displaying the same thing? Okay, I will just display the student profile. Where is that student profile gone? One, I'm going to keep it as student profile. Okay, student profile. So I think both of them it will show. Okay, student profile. So here you have 102, 103, and so on, and you have the classes over here. So you get the class, get this number 101, and see whether 101 is there here. If it is there, you display the class. If it is not there, you don't display the class there. So how do I say that? So I'm going to say that get the roll number from here, from this class profile. Remember, this is the class student, sorry, this is student profile. Get the roll number from the student profile and run this query. When you run this query, you get this these many students or these many roll numbers who are failed. Okay, so get this number from here, get this 103, and check whether 103 is here. If 103 is here, you count it. Get the next one, 104, next student, check whether 104 is there here. If it is there, you count it. Get the next one, 105, come to this query, remember, and check whether 105 is there. If it is not there, you leave it. So in other words, you check whether these numbers 101 to 1 and so on and so forth, they are there, whether they are there in this one. How did you get to this one? Because we wrote the query. So this query is going to give us the roll number. So I have to check whether my roll number, which is over here, where is this condition, where I can just cut it and just paste it here, where my roll number, where is this roll number? So my roll number, whether this roll number is in my this query. Remember, what is this query? This query is going to give me students who have failed. So I want to check whether these roll numbers are there, there in this particular list, whether a roll number, in other words, whether a roll number is there in this list. If the roll number is there in this list, that means the student has failed. And I don't want the name of the student, I want the class of the student, and what they said is count how many students have failed in the class. Okay, so let me run this one and see whether I get the result. I'm going to go over here, paste it, and I'm going to just run it. Now you notice that I said count it, and it just said that okay, you said you count it, but what is the required answer over here? They said that you want it by class wise. In other words, I have to group them by class. So that is what it just said, that okay, you said everything, but here it is giving me a hint saying that you need, if at all you are counting for that, you need to group them class wise. So how do I going to go over here? I'm going to say here group by the class. Okay. Let me make this by in capital. It's not really required to make it as in capital. I'm just doing it to make it look neat. So I'm going to select this whole thing, and now I'm going to run this. And when you run this, you get one student in BCA has failed, one student in second BCA has failed, one student in third BCA has failed. Now I'm going to go, that's the reason I said I'm going to go and open this one. I'm going to go to the student number in the 101 student. I'm going to make the first year student. Let me go here. So where is this student? The third BCA. Okay, second BCA students are there. Okay, third BCA students. Okay, I'm going to fail 103. Let me see this 103. I think I'm not going to get this 103. And let me run this query. I'm going to just run this query. Okay, so only select this one and just run it. It's going to run that. Okay, I think it's not. Okay, I missed one parenthesis. I'm going to select only up to here and run it. 103 is there. I'm going to make two entries for 103. So I'm going to go over here. 103 has failed once, and I'm going to make 103. I'm going to edit this one, 103. Okay, 103. Okay, let me go back. What it is saying, unexpected error. Let me see the data, and 103. 103. I'm going to make one student fail. Okay, 32. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to just apply changes. Done. 103 has changed. Let me rerun this query again. I think 103 is the, I must get the count as 2. What changes I have made? Okay, at least I changed it to 103. Failed once, and okay, the count must be 2 there. Let me run it. Let me run this query, and let me show you what I wanted to convey. Let me run this query. Now you see 102 two times it has come. Okay. The problem is I have to have two students who are in the same class and they must fail. Okay, so there is these are unfortunately or fortunately they are there in the different classes. Let me go and let me check whether someone 103 and who is there in this 105. I'm going to fail 105 now. Okay, so I'm going to go over here 105, and I'm going to fail this 105, and I'm going to make this 105 as 32. Apply changes. Let me come back and let me run it, and you notice that two students have failed. Now why didn't if you run this one, let me show you this. Suppose if you're getting confused, now I'm going to just run this one. So this is going to give me how many students, the list of students who have failed. If you notice there 103 and 103 is there two times. Remember, I'm just counting how many students have failed. Suppose if you have failed once, not that you will fail, suppose somebody has failed, not you, has failed in one subject. In first test the student has failed, then count. The student comes back again and says I have failed in the second test also. Count is one only because you have already failed. One, if you fail once, if you fail twice, if you fail thrice, count is only once because you are just counting one student, whether one student has failed. That's it. So here if you notice that why did I make this one is these two students 103 and 105, if you look at them, 103 is there in the first BCA, I mean sorry, the third BCA, and 105 is also there in the third BCA. Okay, these two are there in the third BCA. There are two students who have failed. Now this student has failed in first test as well as second test. That is immaterial, but there are two students are there. Altogether two students are there. So we want to count how many students have failed in one class. So in this class, third BCA, 2 students have failed, but this person has failed in the test number 1 as well as test number 2, but we are counting only once whether the student has failed or not. The student has failed, yes. The student has failed, yes. So 2 times this student has failed. That is why if you run this whole query, you notice that in third BCA there are 2 students have failed. In the other thing, only 1 student have failed. Hope you get this idea. Let me go ahead and let me look at the other query. Then we are supposed to display the complete details of the students who have secured distinctions in the subject. So how do I get the distinction? Okay. So how to get distinction? Let's go ahead and let's run that story. How do you get the distinction? Remember, marks are there in this table. So first, let me get the, as usual, let me get the marks card. Roll number. So select the roll numbers. Okay, roll number from marks report. Okay, from marks report. Where, what is the condition? Where the condition is what is the condition? Where the marks that you have this let me, how do you say that 75% marks? So you take the first marks 78 plus 89 plus say 77 78 and maybe 90. So you have all of them divided by, I assume that all of them are maximum marks is 100. So this and then finally multiply it with the 100. When you multiply it with 100, you are going to get the percentage. I can reduce this zeros, I can reduce this 0, then I can only get the sum of marks divided by 4. I'm going to get the total. So this is what I'm going to get. So I'm going to say, can I put this one inside this parenthesis? So I said marks 1 plus marks 2 plus marks 3 plus ECCC. This is also marks ECCC. Okay, divided by 4. Remember I said you can divide it by 400 and multiply it by this, but I'm going to just divide it by 4. This must be greater than or equal to 75. If this is the case, student has got distinction. So let me run this query and see whether the student has got a distinction. So let me select this one and just run how many students. So these many students have got distinctions. So you got the distinction. Well and good. Okay. Now the thing is, so these many, I just got the roll number, but what they have said is display the complete details of the students. Okay. So who have got distinction in first BCA? So there is a constraint there. Okay. And what is the constraint? Constraint is it is not enough if you put this one. You have to say and. Okay. Now class equal to first BCA. I used I there, IBCA. So I'm going to just copy this one, IBCA. Class equal to IBCA. Okay. So this is there, but the problem is if you notice this one, class is not there in this table. In marks table, that class is not there. Where is the class? Class is there in the student profile. So you need this table also, student also. So you need to get this both the tables. So how did I write this one? I need the first table, because from the first table I am taking class. So if you notice over here, from the first table, that is the student profile, I can get the classes. You notice this is the classes. I can get the classes, so that in the second table naturally there will be marks. So I need both the tables there. So I'm going to get this part first, that is the class from this table. Class from this table, I got that. And then this is what they said, first BCA class, I got this class from this table. Okay, and I need marks, definitely marks 1, marks 2, marks 3 from the other table, but the only thing is I have to link them together. So I can just simply say that you get the class. So now I have to say this student marks must be compared with this student marks. 105 from the marks report must be matched with the 105 of the student table. So that one more constraint has to be there. So I'm going to put one more constraint and one more constraint. Now there is a one minor problem. Remember, I said class here, I said marks 1 here. There is no problem, because in the one table, let me go to the, sorry, not this one, let me go to this one. In one table you have a class here, but that class is not there in the other table. Marks 1, marks 2, marks 3 are there in this table, but they are not there in the other table. But look at this roll number. Roll number is there here, roll number is there in the other table. So when the same column is there in two tables, then you have to say which roll number are you talking about. Are you talking about the roll number which is there in the marks report, or are you talking about the roll number which is there in the student profile? Which one are you going to say? So here, whenever you are writing this, you have to exclusively say which roll number I am talking about. So I'm going to say from the student profile, take the roll number, okay, that means to say that from the student profile, take this roll number, take this roll numbers and compare it with the roll numbers which are there in the marks report. So this is what I am supposed to say. This must be equal to marks report. This is the marks report. Okay, marks report dot roll number. Okay, done. However, there is one minor problem. And what is this one minor problem? I'm going to just put to make the things easy to understand. It is not really required, but I'm going to just put a parenthesis here so that you know which I am talking about. Okay. Okay, so this is one condition. So look at the condition. I'm going to just press enter here. I'm going to remove it now. So this is one condition. This is the second condition, and this is the third condition. First one, I'm going to calculate the distinction marks. Second one, I'm going to check whether the student is there in the first BCA. Third one, I'm going to compare their details because I want to get their details. I'm going to compare the roll numbers of both the tables. This roll number must match with the roll number which is there over here, so that I can get the details of the student. Okay, 101, what is the name? If you want to ask me, take this 101, go to this table and see what is the details of this 101 student. So this is what you're going to get it. So I'm going to now remove the enter sign. Don't put the enter sign, you will get unexpected errors. So I'm going to just remove them, so that even though it looks cluttered, but that's how it should be done. Don't unnecessarily put this one. Now only one thing that you must understand here is this roll number. If I put this roll number, it's not going to work, because I have already told you roll number is there in both the tables. When you have the roll numbers in both the tables, you have to exclusively specify whether it is from the marks report or whether it is from the student profile. Now I don't need to put the roll numbers here, because they said display the complete details. That means you need all the details. So how do you get all? You know very well, to get all you just have to put the star. So as simple as that. So you put star and you get everything. So get all the details from student profile as well as student marks. Find the distinction, okay, and check whether the class is BCA, and then compare the roll numbers from both the tables. So I'm going to just select it, Control C, go to my query here. I'm going to just paste it. Let's see whether it's going to run this one. So this is what I'm going to get. So student number 101 student is there. In the second test, he got he or she, I don't know, maybe regardless of the gender, got the distinction. Second student 104 in the second test got distinction. Again the first student 101 in the test number 1, remember in the first one it is test number 2, this time it is test number 1, got the distinction. So this is what they have said, get the distinction, and we got the distinction. Let's look at the next one. Let's see what else we are supposed to do. So the next one is display the class and the highest total marks in the second internal test for each student. So the second internal test should be there. Okay, so that is the next one, in the second internal test in each class. Okay, so let's look at this one. Display the class and highest total marks. How do you get the total marks? Total marks is the sum of all of them. So let's get the total marks first. Select. I'm going to just select, and I'm going to just say roll number. So for the time being, I will use the roll number, and I'm going to get the next one, and that is the next one is I'm going to find the sum of the marks. So how do I get this? I'm going to say this max function. Highest means max. Okay, highest of which one? Marks 1. That is just marks 1. Okay, among them, okay, add marks 2. Okay, remember you are supposed to get the highest marks, means add all the marks. Marks 3 and ECCC marks is there. Add all of them, get the maximum out of this. So add all the marks. In other words, I hope you get what I'm talking about. So you add all of them, find the total, add all of them, find the total, add all of them, find the total, and from this total find who is got the highest marks. So as simple as that. Okay, so you got the marks 1, marks 2, marks 3. Okay, so this part you are supposed to do it. And what else? Okay, so let me run that particular thing, and let's see whether I'm getting it. Let me complete this one from marks report. Okay, done. And let me just run this one. Okay. So whether let's see how much error are we going to get it. So that is the easiest one to understand. So you just get this unset, you get these marks. So you get the first thing is whenever you are using this aggregate function, you have to say how are you going to group them, so that it's not going to work. Okay, first thing you must always remember that whenever you are having this aggregate functions require you a group by clause. Without group by clause, it's not going to work. So I'm going to go by class wise. I'm going to go. So how do I going to say is I'm going to go here and I'm going to say I want the class. Okay, now you know very well class is not available in the student. If you look at this table, this class is available in student profile. It's not available in marks report. It's not available there. So you need to use the student profile. Where did I copy it? Let me make it as Control C and Control V. Okay, done. So you got this one. So we need both the tables. So if you want to get the class, you need marks and you have to get the maximum, and in the other table you have to get the class. So you got them. Now whenever you are using this, I told you, you have to get the roll number from here and compare it with the roll number which is over here. Okay, so there is one other comparison where student profile dot roll number. So roll number must be matched. So you have to get them. So you don't have any other clause. Roll number one, student profile dot roll number. So from this first table, roll number must be matched with the marks report dot roll number. Okay, roll number. Okay, so in other words, you have to match them. So this roll number, one roll number from this table has to be matched with the roll number which is there in the other table. This is what I said. One roll number must match with the other roll number. That's the one thing. And what is this next one? Next one, as I've already told you, you need a group by clause. So remember, always remember, whenever you are using a aggregate function, you need to go with the group by clause. If at all that the numbers are varying, like this max function or the minimum function or this kind of thing, you need a group by clause. Without that, it's not going to go. And I'm going to group by classes. Why did I go by group by classes? That's it. Display the class and the highest marks. So this is what they have said. So I'm going to just select this one, and I'm going to go here, Control C, and I'm going to just run it, and you get class wise, you get the details. Okay. However, okay, so you got this one. Okay. However, there is one minor twist which is there. Now you notice that the first thing is you notice that this is coming like this. That is too much. Okay. So I'm going to put I'm going to shorten this one. How do I shorten this one? Is after this you have written this max RN and so on and so forth. After this you can write as also here, but instead of writing all those things in double quotes, you just write max dot marks. Okay, anything you can write money also here. If you write money, that money will come. If you write ABC, ABC will come. So this is going to, this whatever you have written over here, that's going to come here. Yeah, that is a column heading. It's going to come as the column heading. Let me run it and let me just show you what it is going to do it. So you notice that the column heading is very lengthy now. Now what I have done is when I said this one, after calculating, I have put a space here, and inside double quotes I said this must come as the column heading. So let me run it. and you notice that is going to come as something else. If I write my name over here, let me write if I write my name over here, and if I run it, it's going to give the column name as my name. So remember, this is the column name. Okay, hope you get that much. Now let's go ahead with the next one. What they have said here is display the highest marks and highest total marks in the second internal. So this is one other clause they have second internal. So one other clause has to be there. So where profile is this one. Okay, I'm going to just put it like this. So what is this? Just make it look great. Okay, if you are not getting it, so this is one clause. Okay, let me take this group by other somewhere else. This is one class. For your understanding, this is one class where student profile must be equal to that, and I'm putting enter here, but don't put the enter there. Just for your understanding, I'm just showing that thing there. And what is the next one? What is that they have said is in the second internal. So where is this second internal? Let's look at this second internal. This is not there. Second internal is there in the internal test. So this internal test must be equal to that. So where, and okay, if you want, you put it in the double quote. So it's not really required, but for brevity it is better. So internal, what is that? Internal test equal to 2. Okay. Two condition. One is the roll number must match, and the second one is the internal test. Internal test marks, if you notice that internal test must be 2. So that is what they have said. I may get it, I may not get any records. So that is up to how I have done it. Now what I'm doing is I'm removing this enter sign that I have put. Don't put the unnecessary enter sign. And some students, what they do is you just put like this. Put the spaces. Remember, it's very required that you put the spaces. You don't put the spaces, you get unexpected errors, and that you cannot even solve it. Okay. So whenever you write like group by, look at there, group and space is there. You say, some student will simply write group by, a single word. You will get an unexpected errors. Let me control C it and let me go to my column over here and let me run it and see whether I get the result. Okay, I assume that that is true. Now what are my conditions? My condition is that the student must get a distinction in the second test. If you look at the second test, I get where is this in the class 2, one of the student in the class 1, one of the student has in the test 2, one of the student has got in the test 2, one of the student has got in the test 3, and so on and so forth. You may not get all of them over here. You may not get the one class wise in the second test who has scored the highest marks. So this is, look at here, class wise. So where is the class wise group by class wise in the second test who has got the maximum marks. This is what you are supposed to display it, and this is what you have done. Let's go to the next one. What is the next one? Next one is what is saying that display the student name with the roll number, class of those students who has passed in the internal 1 and failed in the internal 2. Use the set operator. Okay. Okay. So let's look at this part. We have the display student name, roll number, and class. And this is what we have. And those students who have passed in the internal one. So remember, here we are going to go with the divide and conquer technique. What is the meaning of saying divide and conquer is we get one thing at a time, and then we use the set operator for getting the result. So let's get this part. Display the student name, roll number, and class. Okay, so let's get that one. Okay, so how do you get this? Select, okay, roll number, name, and class. Okay. From student profile, remember all of them are there in the student profile. It's there in the student profile. This table has this one. Roll number is there, name is there, class is there. You got it. So you got all the three from there. And what is the condition? The condition is those who have passed in the internal. Okay, so that is there. So how do I say that a particular student has passed from the student in a particular test is I have to go to the marks report and then find out whether he has passed or failed or anything. Okay, that means I need both the tables. So I need this table as well as I need marks report table. I need. Now one problem with this one is roll number is there in this marks report table as well as roll number is there in the student profile table. If I just simply write roll number over here, I will get an error message because the Oracle is going to tell me, are you talking about the roll number which is there in the student profile, or is it the roll number which is there in the marks report? You may say that both of them are same. For Oracle, it is not the same. It says you tell me the specific table from where I have to get the roll numbers. So I'm going to say go to student profile. So go to this student profile and then get the roll number from there. How do I say that? So I said student profile dot roll number. So look at here, student profile, that's a table name, student profile dot roll number. So get the roll number from the student profile. Hope you get that one. Okay, so up to here. What is the where clause that I am supposed to get? What is the where clause? So where, okay, where, what is it? Where I have to check whether the student has passed or failed. Okay, first thing is whenever you're using it, now you have to compare. When you have two tables, you have to get the roll number from student profile and then compare it with the same roll number in the marks report. Both of them must match. So first thing we will do that one, where our first clause, remember this is the first clause. What is the first clause? First clause is what is it? Student profile. What is this? Student. Where is the student profile dot roll number? Roll number must match with the marks report dot roll number. Okay, done. This is the first clause. And what is the second clause? Second clause is and second clause, I'm going to write it here. How do I check whether the student has got the marks in passed or not? So it is very simple. You just say marks 1 must be greater than or equal to 35, okay, or marks 2 is greater than or equal to 35, or marks 3 greater than or equal to 35 or ECCC marks. Remember, you may say that ECCC 18 marks means pass or something. I assume that ECCC is for brevity. They have not said ECCC marks must be is for 50 marks or anything. They have not given anything, but they have said the ECCC marks are there. So when the ECCC marks are there, you are going to use them. Okay, that's not the end of it. So a student has, what did they say? Student has passed in the first internals. One more condition, and this is one more condition, and internal test they have to pass. What is the test? Where is the internal test? Internal test, if you look at here, internal test, there is one column is there. So internal test is equal to 1. That is the test number 1. I'm going to, for brevity, I'm going to show them in one line, but don't do it during the examination. So you are selecting two tables. Done. And the first condition is roll numbers must match. That's it. Second condition is they must get pass marks. Okay, that means the marks 1 must be greater than 35, marks 2 must be greater than 35, marks 3 must be greater than, ECCC marks must be greater than 35. This is for pass marks. And the next one is the internal test, is the first internal test. Their roll numbers must match. They must get greater than 35, greater than or equal to 35, and the first test marks must be that. Okay, hope I have put all the conditions there. Now I'm going to just remove the enter signs that I have put. Remember, don't put the enter sign during the when you execute, you get errors. So if you put the enter sign, you get the error. Okay, so done. Let me select it, and let me go over here and let me run it. Let's see whether I'm able to run this thing. I think I will get an error now because I have put enter here and here. Okay, here also. Yeah, unnecessary. I don't want to generate errors. Let's see whether I get an error. Okay, missing expression. Okay, now there is this is going to be a terrible problem. Where is the expression gone? Okay, so let's see whether I get everything in action. So oh, sorry, this is, I'm used to this. So somehow the double equal, whenever from my C programming skills, I get that double equal. Okay, marks report to dot to roll. This roll number has not come. Oh, roll number. Okay, some either these are typos will be there. Don't worry. Roll number. This is roll number. Both the roll number must match. Okay, done. Control C. Hope there is no more errors. Done, and run it. Okay, so you got these students have passed in test number 1. That I got it. Let's look at the next clause. What did they say? And they have failed in the internal. Okay, so you have to repeat this whole thing. Same story remains same. To select roll number, class, and so on and so forth. Okay, what did they say? First let's go here. They have failed. What is the meaning of saying failed? Failed means, how do you say failed? Failed means it is less than 35. 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 Done. Okay, done. And what did they say? They say that it is internal 2. So the test number is 2. That's all. You don't need to do anything. You just got that in action. Let's go ahead. That's all. That's it. Okay, failed in test number 2. Okay, done. Control C, Control V. So these are the students who have failed in test number 2. Okay, student has failed in the test number 2. Okay, so let me keep both of them. Let me keep both of them here. Okay, this is the first one. I'm taking the first one as well as the second one, so let me take it. Okay, so this is the first one. Run. You have 1 2 3 5 1 4. Okay, everybody has failed. Oh, this whole thing has failed, and some student have passed. 5 and 3 have passed. Repetition is there. You see there's a 5 and 3 is getting repeated. Now what did they say? You want all of them, display the names of all of them, use the set operation. How you can get it? Remember, you got one set here, you got one set here with this query. Okay, you got let's run this one. You got the second set here, okay, with this query. So how do you combine them together? So in your algebra class, you have one set with some numbers x, y, z. Okay, you have one other set. Okay, let's say p, q, r, or maybe p, q, z. Repetition is there. You want to combine them together. You want to join them together. How do you join them together? So you have one set. You are going to join the second set, and you want to get all of them in one set. How do you get all of them in one set? Okay, this operation you know very well. This is called as a union. Okay, hope you have studied a union and intersection. Hope you got that thing. So this is union. So what you have to suppose, so that's a set operation. You have two separate set, you combine them together to make them as a single set. So you have to union this query and this query together, union them together. It's simple as that. That's the set operation. How do I do that thing? You have first set, this is first query, this is the second query. How easy, see how easy it is. You just write union. You must know the spelling. Okay, so union, and I'm going to remove this enter signs, and you see that this is the first query, very lengthy first query, very lengthy second query. Combine them together using union. So that is as simple as that. So you just union them together, run this whole thing, Control C, and come here, Control V, whole thing, very lengthy thing, run it, you get all of them. Remember, the repetition will not be there. You know very well. So you have the set one set, oh, sorry, not this, set is written not using square, using, where is it, where is a set. Okay, so set, you have the set with x, y, z. You have one other set, p, y, z, x. If you combine them together, okay, if you union them together, if you combine them together, what you will get? You get this x, y, z. Okay, you get this p. You don't put y here because y is already there in the set. Y is already there. You don't put z here because z is already there. You just put the x here because they are already there. So this is called as a union. So if you notice, when I run one query, 3 and 5 were repeated, but they are not going to repeat here because it's a union. So only one word you have to add here is union. That's it. Okay, that's what they have said. You are supposed to put the union. That's what we have achieved. So with this we stop. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next exercise.